Yeah, so we finally got together to discuss the latest episode of Legion, and it was quite a interesting one. And I was just gonna give a quick little. Actually, before we get to all that, I guess we should introduce ourselves, huh?
Yeah, we may have some new people who just
Yeah,
hopped on and like not sure what this is.
yeah. Well, we are the Columbus Comics Corner. We usually do a podcast. Well, we always do a podcast every Sunday and release it every Sunday night. And you can find that on our Podbean, which is columbuscomicscorner.podbean.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at Comics Corner Pod. And we also have a blog spot, which is columbuscomicscorner.blogspot.com. And if you ever want to email us, you can do so by emailing us at columbuscomicscorner@gmail.com. And we are on iTunes as well, so you can get our podcast there. And feel free to definitely rate and review us. We'd greatly appreciate it. Any feedback is good feedback. But before we get into this, we are going to be spoiling it. But I was going to give a quick little summary of kind of what happened, and then we can go into detail. So while Division 3 continues searching for David, Dr. Melanie Bird works with David to find the cause of his powers in order to learn how to control them. And this was definitely not as a chaotic episode like the pilot was. Definitely more more of a standard show, more easy flowing, not a bunch of jump cuts and stuff like that. Stuff like that this time around. Yeah, what did you think of it?
I think that's a pretty accurate description. I mean, it was thought of more basic format this go around. I mean, there
Mm-hmm.
was some trippy visuals and stuff still involved with it, but I think since this was essentially almost the I don't necessarily want to say training episode because the idea was, like you said, to find out the source of his powers and let him realize that he actually has powers because he still doesn't believe he has powers at this
Yeah.
point.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until towards the end where he's kind of realized, like, well, maybe he does have some kind of abilities.
Yes, and yeah, we'll
Um,
definitely get there.
so yeah, so it seems like this one and probably the next episode are going to be more of the like training episodes,
Yeah, before he moves on to
helping,
find his sister.
yeah, helping him find himself. They threw in the problem with the sister. He knows his sister's been captured by Division 3. And he wants to, he originally, when he found out about it, he wanted to just go jump straight into action, but was, wisely talked out of it and was told, like, learn what you can do before you just go out there.
Mm-hmm. And I love the way Sid like made it super simple to him at the end. She was like, "Your sister is bait." And I don't know, just the way she said it. I don't know.
Like, it was just common sense, like, it's blunt.
Yeah,
It's blunt he said
exactly,
it.
exactly. Thank you. Yeah, you took the words right out of my
Like,
mouth.
yeah, like, she was just like, don't worry about your sister. She's bait, and you don't kill bait. So,
And we have to get you ready. Let's like she was like trying to convincing him to stay, learn what you have. That way, it's going to be a lot easier to control yourself around these people while you try to save your sister.
yeah, and I also like the work they put in on their relationship, their personal relationship.
Yes, that was one of the things I was bringing
Because
up.
yeah, because he immediately wanted to hold her hand or hug her or whatever. And, she's like, well, you can't touch me, and then she's like, even holding hands is uncomfortable for me with because she had the gloves on. We talked about how she's like rogue last episode,
Mm-hmm.
and she spent most of this episode with gloves and stuff on. And she's like, I like the explanation she has for how it feels to even hold hands, with the gloves on. When she's like, it's like a million needles in my skin trying to burst free, and they're kind of
Yes.
anxious. Like they like her skin wants that contact. It wants to use her powers and trade places with people and everything. But she has to really, control it. Even though she admitted later in the episode, she wants to be able to hold his hand. She wants to be able to touch him. She wants to be able to have a more intimate relationship with him. But she knows that she can't because of her powers.
Yep.
And and especially what she did the last time she touched him.
Yes. Yeah. When she went into his body and vice versa. But yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
she was
say
like, I think I killed your friend.
yes. Oh, I'll get to that after I mention this. Yeah, it was icing on the cake too at the end when he was able to read her mind. So
Yes,
I thought that
that was a great
really,
moment.
yeah, I thought that really helped push the relationship even further. 'Cause since they can't touch each other, at least she in a way can be inside of him. Not to sound gross or whatnot, but yeah, that way they can be closer without having to touch each other. So I thought that was
Well, that
really.
worked. That moment worked on a couple levels because it worked on that level,
Mm-hmm.
and then it also kind of reaffirmed to him that he does have some kind of ability
Yes. Yep.
because he heard what she said. She was like, don't worry, just train. They're probably looking for us. And he was like, do you think we're safer? And she's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're probably safe here. And then he heard her thought where she said, but I'll protect you.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when he was kind of like, wait a minute, like I heard what you were thinking. And she's like, no, I didn't think that. And then she turned her head and was like, but you are cute though. And he's like, oh yeah, I do have powers.
Yeah,
I
that
heard
smile.
that.
And Dan Stevens, I believe, is the actor's name, playing David. He's won me over this episode because the first episode you really didn't have enough focus on his mental stability to actually feel for his character. And the way he played it and the amount that they gave us in this episode, I thought was great. And I think he's doing an amazing job playing this Legion character.
I'm gonna agree with you. Like, I think we got more because we got to see different aspects of his personality this go around this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of got to play more of a role. Like, it wasn't just the scattered brained person who thinks that they could be crazy, but it's been told so long that they are crazy that he's trying not to be crazy.
Yeah.
And we got to get he was concerned about his sister. Like, he was serious and he was ready to go on for his sister. The moments where they went into his memory and they were looking at his memories, and he went from those different emotions, like where he was happy to see the memory of him and his sister when they were younger playing outside.
Yeah,
like, that really touched him.
That was I loved that part because when he was like, "Can we touch them? Can we go follow them?" That was so like sincere, and like that immediately pulled me into his acting in the show. I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be good."
Yeah, he's nailing it so far. These only 2 episodes, but he's nailing it and what they're giving him. They're giving him a lot to work with.
Mm-hmm.
I think this episode was definitely meant to humanize him more, which is essentially what why you're feeling like he's got you sold now, was because the first episode he had a couple of kind of human moments, like his interaction. He's like, "Will you be my girlfriend?"
Yeah, he was more just kind of scattered. Yeah,
but he was scattered most of that episode. And in this one, like, you're seeing more concrete things where he's not really scattered.
Mm-hmm.
He does have this calmness inside of him.
Yeah.
But you can also see, because they showed the scene where he's with the other psychologists, and you can kind of see that. You can kind of see that him not understanding he has powers, plus the fact that he has to see these psychiatrists and everything, made him that scatterbrain character we saw in the first episode.
Right.
And you can kind of see in the flashbacks where he's kind of juggling that a little bit. And I'm not sure what the time frame is between some of the flashbacks. Like, most of the ones where he's being evaluated, we're not sure what the time frame. Like, we're not sure if that was the first session he had,
exactly,
or was that the first doctor he saw. So the way it looks, though, it looks like we're getting a glimpse of how he slowly became the person we saw in the first episode.
Mm-hmm. Because there was that one scene.
In this No, go ahead. I was just gonna say, in this flashback, he seemed kind of scatterbrained, but not too much. Like, he was maybe trying to hold it together and contemplate some things. But in the first episode, he was just completely all over the place.
Oh yes, no doubt. And I'm starting to think that Aubrey Plaza's character, Lenny, and we'll call it the Blob for now. I'm starting to think that might just be 2 different personalities now. But it's still it's still uncertain.
I said from the first episode, I definitely think like you said, let's just call him the Blob. I definitely think the Blob is a different personality. I think that's his darker personality that wants to get free and have complete control and cause just mayhem. I do think that Lenny is probably a personality. We don't know for sure yet. I think I called her in the first episode that I thought she was a personality.
Yeah.
But if they're sticking, I said this before in the last time, if they're sticking anywhere near close to the comic, the moment she died by his powers, she became a personality.
Okay.
Because that's what he does in the comic. Like, there's instances where he'll kill people in the comics by accident or on purpose or whatever. But when he does that, he absorbs that person's personality and they become a part of him.
Heck yeah. And then, yeah, to go back to their relationship real quick, when they were on the swing, and I forget the exact line, but he had mentioned something about like a romance type feel, and that. Did you notice the hair blowing for like that quick moment?
Yeah, for a brief
I
moment.
thought that was just a nice little like touch. It was just like some of the random things they throw in here. Like you really can't blink during this show. You know what I
No,
mean?
you can't, because there's so many little things that add to the atmosphere of the show and add to the story.
Yes.
It's funny you said that, because one of the things I really loved that they did was when they were in his memories, he was remembering his father reading stories and stuff to him and taking him out to see the stars. And it
Yes.
was funny because he was like, "Why can't I see his face?" Because every time we saw his father in his memory, his face was always blacked out,
Mm-hmm.
and his mother's face was always like hidden some kind of way.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of interesting that his memory is fuzzy to the point where he can't really remember what his parents look like, especially his father.
And did you notice it? Cause you watched it 2 times now too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you notice either the first or second time after he came out of that dream and he's talking to the guy who's doing the mental work?
Yeah.
When he came out and he had that flash of that person in the background walking.
Yes.
Who did you think that was?
You know what? I really wasn't sure at first, and then I was like, well, because originally I wasn't sure, and I'm like, with the way he is with his powers, he's always looking over his shoulder, and it seems like the Blob character is always like slightly hunting him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So at first I was like, well, maybe that's that ominous feeling he has of like he may lose control because there's this figure, always over him, following him, hiding in the shadows, in the closet, everywhere else. And then I was like, well, then again, maybe since he was touched on about his father, maybe it had something to do with his father or his parents.
I'm pretty sure it was because the first time I saw it, I thought it was Sid. Like I thought he was like kind of attached since he's like pretty attached to her. I thought he was trying to find her right away. But my second time watching it, I'm pretty sure it was his sister walking down the hallway to the
I
to the window.
Definitely didn't take it as Sid, and
Okay.
that's just because she's so upfront.
True.
You know what I mean? Like his memories of her, she was blunt since she's stuck with him essentially. Now she's blunt when she comes out and says stuff. So I didn't strike it as it possibly being her, but yeah, I can see it definitely being his sister.
Yeah, because if you go back and watch it again, she's kind of. If you go back and watch it again, I think you'll pick up on it. Because I was like, oh, that was a. See, again, this is a show you really do have to watch like at least 2 or 3 times, and I'm fine with that.
Especially since he's like throughout the episode, he's slowly realizing his abilities, and it's slowly hitting him until the point where he's able to actually pinpoint his sister and actually
Yeah.
essentially astral project himself to there and see her.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that
So
was
it would make sense to kind of slowly build into
build
it.
up to that exactly. But yeah. Yeah, man. I think the reason why I love this show so much, well, starting to love this show so much, is it's a different take on the superhero TV shows that we're getting. Not to knock any of the other ones, I mean, but they all have like a certain formula that they follow, and it's always nice to see something different. Since there's so many superhero TV shows out and coming out nowadays, I haven't even watched Powerless yet.
I haven't either. I want to.
Yeah, I want to check it out. But yeah, there's just so many. But I like that this really does stand out from the rest of them. And it's nice to kind of how Deadpool has that feeling like it's a different superhero movie than what we've been getting.
And I think that's how it should be. I don't think every superhero movie or TV show should be the same because you're dealing with different heroes.
Yep.
And certain heroes, live in a slightly different environment or have a slightly different kind of personality. I think especially for Legion, like the way they're portraying it so far is great. I can't wait to see how they start portraying it once they start realizing like he's got more than just him inside of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the main thing I'm waiting for, is for the moment when everybody realizes like, yeah, he's got some other personalities in there. and it could be dangerous if certain personalities gain control.
Right, right. And my question is, who and what is Kerry? Did you pick up on
Yeah,
that?
yeah, and that's what I said. That's the other thing is we're not really entirely sure of everybody's relationship to him. Like we're not really sure who is somebody he actually knew, who is a personality. We're not sure what some of the other people's powers are necessarily.
Yeah, because I'm wondering
I
what
mean,
Kara's might be
we
weird.
only got a glimpse at one person's power this episode.
Yes, and that I should have wrote his name. I forgot to put his name in here. I forget his name off the top of my head.
I forgot they called him like the memory manager or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. But all the acting was really good. And I was like, at first I thought Aubrey Plaza was kind of going to go overboard, but surprisingly didn't go overboard for me.
No, everybody so far, everyone seems to be in a good position so far.
And yeah,
I'm
a sucker. I'm a sucker for
I'm
Sid.
definitely
She could win me over any
yeah,
day.
and I want to know what's going on with Kelly.
Kelly. Who was that again?
I believe it was Kelly. Kelly was the doctor that was giving him the CAT scans and trying to find out where his powers were at in his brain.
That's Kerry as well. There's the girl Kerry.
And then that was his question. The whole episode was like, "Who are you talking to?"
Because
I thought that was your name.
Because when you see him, you see the martial art training post, and it's like there's no one by it, and then they come back a little bit later, and then that's where they show the other Kerry.
Yes, and she's like using the post.
So I was like, what is going on there?
Because at first I thought he was going to say his ability was like talking to machinery or something. Like I thought he was going to be able to talk to machines. You know,
because they kind of teased that a little bit with some of the effects that they were throwing on his David's memories at the beginning of it. I don't know if you noticed that. So I was like, okay. But yeah, Noah Hawley is killing it.
Yeah, I like the not so Professor X school also.
Oh yeah, Summerland is that what it was called?
Summerland. It was called Summerland. Yeah,
that was good.
And what was the dude's name? We finally got his name. Was it the Eye? Was that his name?
The Eye. Yes. Yeah, when Amy kind of picks up on David's. He's like yelling at her, and she's like walking, and she just mentions his name just as the Eye is walking in. He's like, "Oh, we can use you as bait."
Yeah. Oh, perfect. You know this guy.
But yeah, I'm glad. I forget her name, Julie Peters. I'm probably butchering that all to hell. But Amy, I'm glad she's in. Did you ever watch The League?
No.
Okay, she was in that. She was in that for all 7 seasons. In the FX family. At least I know a few of the.
Keeping it there, keeping it in the family.
Oh yeah, a few of the actors, like Dr. Melanie is from Fargo. Sid is from Fargo, and Amy is from The League. But yeah, I don't know. Did you know Dan's playing the Beast in the new Beast in the blah 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 movie?
You talking about the new XMen movie?
No, that Disney movie. I don't know how I'm forgetting it.
Oh, Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. Yes. Yeah, I found that out. I was like, oh, okay. Dude's pretty set. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Which makes more sense because Disney, Beauty and the Beast, Marvel, FX.
Yep.
We'll find out soon enough.
Like you said, Beast on my X-Men movie, the next X-Men movie.
That'd be funny. But I'm not even like worried about this being in the same universe anymore. Like,
no, I'm not either.
Like this episode, I was like, yeah, I really don't care. Just it doesn't have to be all shared all the time.
No, it doesn't. Just give us a good story and give us some other mutants.
Exactly.
Like, I think it'd be cool to have some mutants I know pop up other than Legion. But, other than that, I don't really care if it's in the same universe as the X-Men. They can't get that together anyway.
And one thing I want to touch on real quick, it was just one of the things that really stood out for me when he's talking to his sister, he goes into that vision and her face is all blurry and she like snaps him out of it.
Yes.
And she's like, I'm getting married, all this, and she tells asks David, like, why can't you have a relationship? Why can't you have this, all this, and that? Why can't you be happy, sort of thing? And he's just like, I'm sick. And I was like, whew. That was a good line, and he nailed that line.
The whole interaction was good because when she was saying it, he just looked like confused and kind of crushed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, she asked him, why can't you have this? And asked him about the girl he had been dating or whatever, and what happened to that. And then, like you said, he just hit that line like, I'm sick. And it was just like later on in the episode, where he was told, she's bait. They're not gonna kill bait. It was like you just said, he delivered it just so bluntly and so straightforward that for a minute you're like, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure you need to say it like that, but when you do say it, you're right.
Oh man, good stuff. Well, do you have anything else for this episode 2?
No, I can't.
Anything you're looking forward to seeing next episode?
No, I can't. I can't wait to see episode 3.
Yeah, I think this seeing it a second time really sold me on wanting to talk about it every week. So yeah, we're gonna keep doing these. I mean, they probably won't come out every Thursday or every Wednesday or whatever, but they will definitely be out before the next episode.
The next episode.
But yeah, this is fun, and if you don't have anything else, we are again the Columbus Comics Corner podcast. Thank you for listening to our Talking Legion episode 2 review, and if you come back, check our Podbean later. By the time you're listening to this, we'll have episode 21 of our new comic book week show out as well. And we appreciate it. But until then, have a good one.